Today I had breakfast with an old friend of mine that I haven't seen in about 3 years. And I was explaining to him how we have a YouTube channel. And when I say we, it's us three beautiful ladies. And he asked me the question, why did you start the channel? And I started to chuckle. And Tracy E., it has to be with you, because we started this channel because in the mastermind business group we were in, we were having a conversation on how you did not want to go live. You did not want to be in front of the camera. And Tracy G and I felt, well, if we do it together as a friendship, we'll get you used to this. And you are not that person any longer, because in my phone, I am constantly getting dings from your Facebook group that you are now live. And I'm like, okay, now we can't keep her off the camera. We couldn't get her on the camera. And now she's off the camera. And my question is to both Tracy's, do you feel like you're the same person as you were when we started this?
Not even close.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Not even close. And thank you from the bottom of my heart to both of you for allowing me this experience and allowing me to grow with this experience. Honestly, thank you. Yeah, no, I'm so different. I look back at that person, at that Tracy, and go, like, what was the problem? Like, seriously, what was the problem? But yeah, the fear of just showing up and having my face looked at or whatever, it was like, oh my God, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. But there's so much more that goes into that. And I think like the three of us are always looking for that personal growth, that ability to stretch, that ability to give more. And we foster that within our relationship, and we foster that in all of these talks that we have. So there's no way we could be the same people. Like, there's just no way, because I think we are the epitome of people who are reaching to be better and to learn more. So yeah, I mean, 3 years ago, I'm definitely not that person. I have more wisdom, I have more grace, I have more vulnerability, I have more of everything, really, more of everything, like good and bad, like more of everything. And I believe I'm a better person than I was 3 years ago. Absolutely.
Don't you think you have to be if you're actually acknowledging who you are? Like if you're checking in with yourself and seeing, does this work for me? Is this the person I want to be? You've
Yeah.
got to be better, don't
Yeah.
you? Like, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I mean, if you are checking in with yourself and you're going, I sort of don't really like this habit, or I don't like this thing, then the next obvious question is well, what am I going to do to change that? Do I want to change it? Can I change it? How do I go about changing it?
I
So
don't know
yeah.
if you were so open to changing it in the beginning. You were like, well, okay, yeah, sure, we'll do this. And you never resisted, like
No.
physically told us no. Maybe mentally you might have, but I think it's very ironic that at least once a week I get a Tracy Emerson is live. And I'm like, for a person who I couldn't get in front of a camera.
But I wonder if it's the format, right? So you're having a conversation with us. You're not like originally, you're having a conversation like you're having a, coffee chat or something, and you don't know that you didn't know that you were out there. You were just talking to us.
No, there's a whole lot more that goes into just that. The visibility is not just the physical visibility, which is what I always said it was. Oh my God, I can't be on camera. But I couldn't be on camera because my self-worth wasn't high enough for me to express my opinions, for me to say what I felt was good, what the knowledge that I had that I felt somebody else needed to hear. That's what the real problem was.
Oh, so we're
Not
going
so-
deep. We're going
we're
deep.
going deep. Yeah,
We're
yeah.
going deep.
So it wasn't so much, oh my God, don't let me show my face,
Right.
although that's how I presented it.
And that's what it represented. As soon as I
Yeah.
show my face, my opinions, my voice is, yeah.
Because I can't sit here and just let the two of you talk. So yeah, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm all in. But what's so interesting is that when that decision got made, I guess I'm all in. It started changing everything for me. It really did. It was like, okay, well, I do have good stuff to say. I have some really good stuff to say.
You
And I
have
got some
fantastic stuff to say.
I got some good wisdom. I mean, I haven't been on this planet for 67 years and not, don't come out at the end with no wisdom. So I got some good stuff.
Right.
And I know there are people out there who are going to hear that stuff and go, you know what, that's really good. I like that. I like what she said about that. She understands me. She gets me. I get that. I get what she's telling me, right? Because ultimately we all can have the same message, but we're all going to deliver it a different way. And some of it, it's what you say, Tracy, even though it might be exactly the same that I say, is going to land differently with different people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Same thing for Michelle. Like Michelle's going to say exactly what we say, but some people are going to be like, Michelle, like, my God, finally somebody who actually talks the way I talk and understands me.
Right.
That's what really, I sort of came to that and was like, that's what's really important. That's what's really important.
Yes.
And I mean, realistically, people aren't going to be watching us. People aren't going to be in my Facebook group unless they are there to get something.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's why we invest the time to either listen to somebody's podcast or watch somebody else's YouTube video or whatever. It's to get something, whether it be for personal reasons, business reasons, whatever. And look at me, I'm talking constantly throughout this whole episode. Somebody else take over.
But I think somebody, I think we've talked a little bit. Sometimes when I catch myself saying this phrase, that's not who I am, or I've always been like this. I think the second one, I've always been like this, lately, probably in the last 5 years, let's just say, I think take a step back and go, but is that the right way to be? Like, I've always been like this is kind of that fixed, wall up, don't challenge me mindset. Instead of asking the question, well, why am I like this? And there's legit reasons why you might be like this. I'm not going to eat a mushroom. I don't like a mushroom. I will never eat a mushroom. And that's just the way I am. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I got very sick on that. But when I look at other things, why am I saying that? That's just who I am. Well, that's like, I would challenge people to ask that question, why am I like that? And sometimes it's our upbringing, sometimes that's the only thing I've ever known and done. Like, I don't know any different. And so when I started to peel that part back and ask my question as to why, well, maybe it's time not to be that person any longer. Time to be vulnerable.
Well, I think that's the other thing too, is people sometimes don't realize you can change. You can not be like, if I look back and go, stop being so particular about certain things. You can let that go, let those people do their thing. You don't have to micromanage. You don't have to do that. Like you don't want to be that person. Don't be that person. But again, you got to check in to see what you're doing to understand the person you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And we also have to let people know that we aren't that old person. Right? Like sometimes people have this dynamic of who you are, like that really particular person. And you have to say to them, oh, that was the old me. That's not me anymore.
But they don't necessarily believe you.
No, they don't. And you know what? They will once they see that you are not that way anymore. Then they will believe that. But sometimes we actually need to hit them over the head with a hammer and go, yeah, that was the old Tracy. That's not who she is now.
But that
She's
goes back.
evolved.
That goes back on them because they're choosing not to see the new you. And it could just be the change. It just could be the way you handle things differently. And they choose to go, oh no, she always gets hyper excited about that crap. And it's not true anymore. That's hard though. It takes a lot for people to see you differently.
Oh, people don't want to see you differently. Yeah. That's why when people start to have massive success in their businesses as an entrepreneur, people really struggle with that. They really struggle with that. And not so much because they are jealous of your success or whatever, but they just don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to handle this version of who you've become.
Because it changes the dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. They think it changes the dynamic. It doesn't necessarily have, and that's again on them, right? Because you are still ultimately you, and you're still going to have that same relationship with that person, possibly through a bit of a different lens, but you're still willing to be with them in that same way. But there has been so much growth on your side and whatever it is that they see that they don't literally know how to converse with you anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. It could be also that you've made the changes or you've done the growth and they now feel stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't understand how to or are willing to do the work that you have done or I have done or whoever has done.
Yeah.
On that aspect also.
Yeah.
So just because, that saying, I've always done it that way, or this is who I am. I would challenge people when you hear that come out of your mouth. Or if you hear, well, sometimes I've had people say to me, well, you've really changed. Yeah, I have.
I hope so.
I have. Yep. And I just smile and say, yes, I have.
Yeah.
And I leave it at that. So Tracy G, are you the same person you were when we started this?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We did talk about vulnerability, and I do think that for me, the way I do things, I've peeled a little bit of the onion back for me. Might not have opened it all up, but so that in itself is huge for me. I also have allowed myself not to be hidden. That was a big thing for me. Mine was on camera too. And it's interesting to hear Tracy's reasoning because mine was, again, I've got knowledge here. I've got expertise. Why are you so scared to talk about what you know? Back then, I don't know. I got to go talk to Tracy, my Tracy from 3 years ago and figure out what that was about. But now I'm not at all concerned about that. You don't have to listen to me, but I have no problem now voicing my opinion and allowing myself to be visible. So, and those are big words for me, visible and not hiding. That is what I work towards now. So I've changed.
I think what I'm hearing.
Thank goodness, because I don't want to be the same person. Like I want to see who I'm going to be in a year. But based on that, that's my journey in life is I want to grow as a person.
Mhm.
I think one of the things I'm hearing is that all three of us have a voice, and we know there's a person that needs to hear it,
Mhm.
but we might not be the voice for everyone, and that is okay also.
Mhm.
Because I think for myself, I used to play things very safe. So I would make sure my conversations were broad so everybody felt inclusive.
Mm.
And so then I was an expert of nothing within my business.
Mhm.
And I think it also I was a child of perfection. Like I wouldn't move forward unless everything was perfect. And I'm like, I'm far from this perfect person, I know. And now it's that I think all three of us have opened up our vulnerability, because it's when we show our mistakes that we become more real for people, you know? So I think for myself, that's probably where some of my biggest growth has been.
Mhm.
Well, and I feel like we grew up in a time where you were seen, but not, you weren't supposed to really voice your opinion. And that people pleaser, and maybe what's it, chameleon, where you're like, oh, I'm with this group. And so yeah, that's what I'm
Yep.
about. Oh, now I'm with this group. Oh, I'm kind of like that. And you changed yourself. So someone might go, what's the big deal? But for me, it's huge that I am not that I'm allowing myself not to hide behind things, because it's so against what society told me as I was growing up.
Mhm.
Right.
Not my family. My family were totally different, but society as a whole.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I think I told you a story a couple of years ago. I was in Florida and I went to a neighbor's house, and he asked me what I did for a living. Was I a nurse or a teacher? Were those the only two occupations I could have? A nurse or a teacher? And when I told him at that time, no, I sell towing supplies to tow truck drivers, he's like, excuse me, and turned around and walked away because he didn't know what to say to me. So yeah, we grow up in a time where we were
Mhm.
only supposed to do certain jobs. We were like, didn't. And now I think the three of us have found our voice and continue to find it and continue to explore it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
and that's a
even,
beautiful thing.
I think if we were to go back and watch some of our beginning episodes to now, you would
Yeah.
find differences with
Oh,
it.
for sure. Just the ease in conversation,
Oh yeah.
and just the ease of, I know for me, just the ease of just being here on camera, just being okay with it. Like,
And less filters. Like maybe before
yeah.
we were like, oh, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say. And now it's like, yeah, I'm good. I'll just say whatever.
This is it. This
Yeah.
is who we are. And that's also wonderful, because I don't want people to always agree with everything we have to say.
Mhm.
If what we say resonates with you and we help you, that is wonderful. But for me, it's also, if you don't agree with us, that is okay also. We don't always agree together, but it's how we're having a conversation. And it is okay to have a conversation and not always be in an agreement.
Mm. That I think is one of the most important things ever, is to realize that you can have an opinion and
Yeah.
I can have an opinion, and they're not the same. And that's okay. We can still be friends. We can still be all of these things, and our opinions can coexist together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the same with our viewers.
Yeah.
That's the same, because there could be a conversation we have and we hit home with them, and the next one they don't agree with, and that is okay. I'm fine with that. I know there are books I read and people I watch on TV and even people I follow on social media that I do not agree 100% with everything that's going on.
Yep.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
They're still
'Cause
inspirational to me.
Yeah, there's that space for the word and that is so important. It can fit at the end of a sentence, in the middle of a sentence. It can begin a sentence.
Yes. Yep. And on that note, how have you changed in the last 3 to 5 years? I'm talking to you, viewer. So note it down in the comments. Let us know. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the episode if it resonated with you. Hit subscribe and hit notifications so you are notified every Wednesday when that new episode comes out. Until then, have a great day.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.